You're streaming CBS News Bay Area.
Thanks for joining us this Wednesday. I'm Ann Makovic, and here's a look at some of our news headlines this morning. It is day one of the government shutdown. Both Republican and Democratic leaders remain at a stalemate over how to move forward. This means as many as 750,000 government workers could be furloughed each day. Essential employees, including federal law enforcement, military service members, and TSA agents, are required to continue working without pay for now. President Trump has said the shutdown could result in mass layoffs and cuts to programs. The body of a missing 28-year-old woman has been found in Vallejo, and a man has been arrested accused of murder. Investigators found the body of Rania Lewis through a hidden entrance to the attic of a home yesterday. Investigators previously checked that house on 14th Street on Sunday, the day Lewis was reported missing, but did not find her. Police have arrested 41-year-old Douglas Shaw and claim that he confessed to the crime. He is being held at the Solano County Jail. Red light cameras are coming to San Jose. They are being installed at 4 high-traffic intersections across the city. That is at Lee Avenue and Parkmore Avenue, Monterey Road and Branham Lane, Key Street and South 3rd, and South Bascom Avenue and Camden Avenue. The city says drivers will get a citation for failing to stop or rolling through a red light. The pilot program was approved back in 2022. All right, taking a look outside, let's get a check on our first alert forecast because parts of the Bay Area could see a little more rain today. Let's look from our Mark Hopkins hotel camera. Here's meteorologist Jessica Birch.
Rainy weather for another day here in the Bay Area. We're going to continue to see on and off showers in the forecast. At the same time, daytime highs are staying nice and cool as we head into this afternoon. Let's head all the way up to the North Bay real fast as this cold front sweeps from the north to the south. We're gearing up for 60s in places like Vallejo and Napa, even cooler than our microclimates over into San Francisco for that matter. So all of our inland spots, let's take Concord for example, are sitting below average by about 10 degrees in Concord, putting us at 73 degrees there, 6 degrees below average, putting us at 73 degrees all the way over into San Jose. Now, as you take a look at the radar, it's been pretty active on and off throughout this morning, but you take a look at Futurecast, we'll continue to watch the rest of that moisture wring itself out over the Bay Area into the evening hours tonight. On and off showers expected for us all the way into the overnight hours tonight. We could even see some lingering showers the more south we go as we head into our Thursday forecast with cloudy conditions lingering all the way into our Friday setup. So we're monitoring this closely, but watch what happens as we head into our Friday and Saturday forecast. We're actually going to see some sunnier skies around the corner as we dive into this weekend and some warmer weather too. Once this cold front pushes through, high pressure rolls in and that jumps us from the low 70s that we're gearing up for today all the way into the low 80s that we're tapping into as we head into our Saturday forecast. And that's the case as we head into next week too, with just some cloudier conditions on the back end. Now, as we head all the way over into the Bay, places like San Francisco and Oakland, this is what we're in store for. We're talking about low 70s as we wrap up this week, despite the fact that we're seeing sunnier skies, low 70s lingering into next week too, but at least it's going to be drier. So now that it's the first day of October, we're officially in fall. It definitely feels like it, but we'll start to see a little bit warmer conditions with sunnier skies by next week. Back to you.
For the first time in almost 7 years, the federal government shut down at midnight. No sign right now on how long this could last. This means federal agencies will stop receiving money and federal workers will not get paid until the differences are resolved. Senate Majority Leader John Thune has signaled there are ongoing conversations with some rank-and-file Democrats in an effort to convince them to break with party leadership and support the GOP short-term funding measure. Democratic leaders say they are standing firm that a negotiation has to address their concerns over health care cuts and extending enhanced health care tax credits under the Affordable Care Act.
What gives us the ability to win this argument with the American people is we're standing for what they want with health care, and they are not.
We inherited this really bad healthcare system from the last days of the Biden administration. We want to fix it. We just don't want to shut down the government while we're fixing it.
It is estimated that each week of the shutdown could cost the U.S. economy about $7 billion. Even with a government shutdown in effect, Social Security checks will keep going out. But don't expect business as usual if you're heading into a local office. Our Veronica Macias reports from one in San Francisco.
Even when there's not a government shutdown, we do tend to see long lines and wait times at Social Security offices like this one in San Francisco. Under the shutdown, those problems are only expected to be magnified. The last time around, during the last shutdown, there were long lines at Social Security offices around the country. Making matters worse this time around is a staffing shortage. However, the National Committee to Preserve Social Security and Medicare says people should not worry. Checks will continue to go out. But if there's a problem or a change that can't be resolved online or over the phone, a person is expected to come in and there's less staff to help. For example, think of someone having to verify a new address, present earning records and updates to income information, overpayments that were processed, or perhaps replacing a Medicare card. We ran into someone this morning who was here for just that, some of those problems requiring immediate attention.
The card I'm waiting for now, because I had to cancel out the last card I had. It got lost, actually. Now, I got to wait, see what they say about my money, because I got to pay rent within the next 5 days. You know what I'm saying? And it's going to get real close for me to take care of this.
In September, a contingency plan was published by the SSA. The agency says about 45,000 employees, almost 90% of its workforce, will stay on the job in this shutdown. Another roughly 6,200 workers, though, will be furloughed. It's estimated that this year, the Social Security offices have lost about 2,000 workers. So it's the day-to-day business that's being impacted during this shutdown.
So the last government shutdown was also under President Trump. It started in December 2018 and lasted 34 days, the longest in history. That hang-up centered around funding for the president's border wall. Now, depending on how long this shutdown lasts, we could see disruptions at our Bay Area airports. More than 58,000 TSA employees and air traffic controllers are now working without pay. We know the last shutdown, several airport workers stopped showing up, creating lines and flight delays. This would affect San Jose and Oakland airports, but not SFO, because SFO's security screeners are not TSA employees. They actually have a contract with a private company under TSA oversight. Still questions about some national parks today. Contingency plans show that open air sites will remain open, but buildings that need staffing, like visitor centers, will be closed. Here in the Bay Area, Muir Woods is closed. The Presidio in San Francisco will remain open because their funding comes from the Presidio Trust. We don't know at this point exactly what's going to happen with Alcatraz. This shutdown comes as the Bay Area is counting down to San Francisco's Fleet Week. As Kelsey Thorud reports, things are going to look a little bit different this year.
Mark Carroll's dad participated in San Francisco Fleet Week as a member of the Navy all the way back in the 1960s.
He just says he remembers that, everybody sailing in here to San Francisco and then just being here for Fleet Week.
Mark says his dad really enjoyed the experience. So he told Mark and his wife Lane, who now live in Merced, to come into the city one year to check out the festivities.
He's like, I was in Fleet Week, I just didn't go visit it. And so it would be kind of a cool experience to share with us and our kids.
Be here, what a great time that is. And we were kind of looking forward to seeing the Blue Angels and things.
But this year, that wish of seeing the Blue Angels may not come true. If the government shuts down, the U.S. military will not be able to participate in Fleet Week.
We are not able to participate in any community outreach events during a period where the government is shut down.
Fleet Week officials say the event won't be canceled, just pared back. No Blue Angels or naval ships will make their way into the Bay, but Fleet Week organizers say several international ships from Canada and Colombia will still be participating, as well as Canada's version of the Blue Angels, the Canadian Snowbirds.
Fleet Week will still happen. There will still be a Fleet Week event. And unfortunately, until there is a resolution, a shutdown would mean that Navy and Marine Corps, the Navy and Marine Corps would not be able to participate.
That lack of Naval and Marine Corps representation, though, is making Mark and Lane rethink their plans to attend.
That would be incredibly disappointing if they weren't there. We probably would not come.
Mark and Lane told me if the shutdown does happen, they would not only be sad for themselves, but also for the thousands of sailors who, just like Mark's dad, were looking forward to a week of fun in San Francisco.
If you're in the military for, X amount of years and this is your opportunity to be involved in thing like Fleet Week here in San Francisco, then I guess I would feel bad if they didn't get the opportunity to enjoy it.
I think it's annoying. I feel like the politicians should be able to figure it out and come to some kind of consensus. I don't know why we have to pay for their lack of being able to do that.
Well, regardless of the shutdown, CBS News Bay Area is your home for Fleet Week. We're going to bring you live coverage of the events that are happening next week. And we're going to keep following all the latest developments on the shutdown. You can find updates anytime on our website, kpix.com, and streaming on the free CBS News app. Still ahead here on CBS News Bay Area. Leaders in San Francisco trying to reassure people on the west side after 2 stabbings in broad daylight. Why they say sometimes the way cases are handled isn't completely up to them.
We simply cannot live in a society where we let people tell us over and over again that they will not respect the law.
Plus, we're going to take you inside the pitch room where dozens of tech and climate groups are showing some innovative ways to upgrade the power grid, how it could earn them millions of dollars from PG&E.
It's another rainy day for us here in the Bay Area with on and off showers and another cold front sweeping from the north to the south. Now this is going to increase relative humidity, of course, bring us some showers throughout the bay and also drop our temperatures for another day too. We're talking about low 70s in our inland spots this afternoon, putting us well below average. Conquered by about 10 degrees. We'll start to warm up as we head into this weekend, back into the 80s with sunnier skies, but we make our way over into the bay. We're also noticing those sunny conditions widespread from San Francisco over into Oakland by Friday.
Well, at least 4 businesses in San Francisco appear to have been tagged with the same graffiti. These are pictures from a jewelry store in Chinatown. You can see the spray paint there on the side of the building. The business is Anita Jewelry at the corner of Pine and Grant Streets. And check this out. The store has surveillance video of someone walking up and tagging the side of the building in 2 different places. The owner said it happened at around midnight yesterday. Their neighbor was also tagged.
And you're making the Chinatown looks terrible. If you see the picture for what they did, it looks the people doesn't want to come to Chinatown, and looks the Chinatown messy, dirty, not safe. It's no good for the business.
Well, Anita says she's been in the same location for 35 years and that they've constantly had to deal with graffiti. She showed us how it got on a newly painted mural on her building, and she said they did file a police report. SFPD did confirm to us they knew about the graffiti, but they say they have not made any arrests. 2 other businesses also tagged. We saw this building on with the same tag on Lombard Street. Our photojournalist went by a 3rd business on Pine Street, but the owners had already cleaned it up. Public safety has been on top of mind for people living in San Francisco's west side after a summer marked by thefts, violence, and tragedy. Neighbors gathered last night to ask some tough questions and demand answers from city leaders. Our Amanda Harry was there.
Can Target arrest shoplifters and...
People who called the city's west side home filled San Francisco's county fair building, waiting for answers to one of their most pressing fears. Crime right outside their front door.
Well, I think it's really important for families to feel safe.
Stephen Huang has lived in the city for years. He thinks it's special and a privilege to live and raise his family here. But after the homicides of Robert Byrd II while walking his 8-year-old near Sloat Elementary School and the deadly stabbing of Colden Kimber on Ocean Avenue, his 10-year-old twins were scared.
For days after that, my kids did not feel safe walking and taking the bus to school.
Arrests in both those cases made it a little simpler to ease his kids' worries. But he still came to the forum, hosted by Stop Crime SF, to hear from law enforcement and the DA about how they're going to make the community safer. District Attorney Brooke Jenkins emphasized crime prevention, but also being tough on crime.
To try to function as a deterrent. Right, so we have to have adequate forms of accountability for people. I try to be very open and transparent that we will use all of our forms of accountability so that people get sent a message that, right, this is not something you can do in our city and simply get away with it, that there will be a consequence.
But she admitted there are difficulties because of legislation that makes it more complicated for her office to prosecute crimes, especially the petty crimes that happen at Stonestown Galleria. In August, More than 25 crimes were reported at the mall, according to police records.
We lost our teeth, really, to have a true consequence for most of our misdemeanors, because at the end of the day, all of these people, almost minus DUIs and misdemeanor sex crimes, can be offered diversion, whether my office agrees to it or not.
But she remained adamant that the DA's office is going to crack down on repeat offenders.
We simply cannot live in a society where we let people tell us over and over again that they will not respect the law, they will not respect a judicial officer telling them to stop, but yet be given 2, 3, 4, even sometimes 5 chances, right? Meanwhile, people are dying. So that is a part of the problem of why we continue to see repeat offenders.
Multiple officers were also on the panel, including interim SFPD Police Chief Paul Yep. Despite these incidents, the panel emphasized crime is down 40% citywide over the last 2 years. Huang was grateful to see so many public safety officials in one place, and he left with hope and more information to educate his children.
I think their visibility is absolutely helping people to feel safer. This really makes us feel like safety is a top priority for the city and for this mayor.
Last night's forum was hosted by Stop Crime SF and Neighborhood Group co-sponsors. Well, it might look like it, but no, this is not Shark Tank. Last week, PG&E held a pitch-style competition in Oakland where almost 60 groups pitched their products to experts, everything from managing energy resources to wildfire and forest management, all for a shot at a slice of the $25 million in funding that PG&E is awarding. Our Suji Nam tagged along with one group as they made their pitch.
30 seconds for the video.
It's all coming down to this moment. Subarna Bhattacharya, the CEO of Climaformatics, is prepping with her teammates before making their pitch to PG&E.
Been waiting for a moment like this.
Bhattacharya and co-founder Datalina Ivanova, both former employees of Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory, created this AI platform to predict climate and extreme weather months in advance.
We have actually trained our models to reflect on the physics-based models.
She said they can predict areas of wildfire risks with 95% accuracy, using climate modeling across varying environments and data science.
In this case, you can see we forecasted on the May 1st that you're going to have extremely high severe fire danger index over the end of August. Just so happened that you had the Mariposa peak fire that started on the 26th of August.
She's been in talks with CAL FIRE about her platform and hopes the Pitch Fest can open doors for a partnership with PG&E. PG&E's VP of Wildfire Mitigation, Andrew Abranches, is one of this year's judges and says the Pitch Fest is positive for both pitchers and the company.
We're bringing the wealth of other people's thoughts to this problem, and if they can think about things that we haven't thought about, even if they are in the nascent stage, sparks my thinking, sparks my team's thinking, and sparks the dialogue.
He says that with 5.5 million meters on California's electric grid, their mission is to focus on what they call continuous monitoring.
Monitor how the grid is degrading actually, such that through that monitoring of it, we'll be able to take action. So if something is going down, we know, hey, it may break over here. Over what time period will it break?
And it's through innovators like Bhattacharya who hope they can make a difference. Through a 15-minute pitch, the Climaformatics team explained their goals of wanting to bring this technology to the market.
I think it went very well. I loved the opportunity to be able to present our technology, put our solutions for other industry verticals like manufacturing.
Now it's the waiting game to see if they qualify to move forward. But Climaformatics is excited as their work is just getting started.
And the groups that have been shooting their shot will learn if they'll move on to the next round by the end of this month. The winners will be announced near the end of the year. Still ahead here on CBS News Bay Area, the 49ers getting ready to take on the Rams in LA tomorrow. But Brock Purdy's status is still uncertain. what the team is saying about his return.
I want to show you those rainfall totals real quick, how much we're expecting widespread throughout the bay, because as we wake up and head out the door right now at 7:50, this is what we're dealing with. Dry skies right now throughout most of the North Bay. It's still cloudy, though. And then as we head a little bit more south, those showers are continuing to push in from offshore, breaking apart a little bit more as they make their way over the bay, all the way over into places like Hayward. So let's head over into places like Hayward, all the way down into Fremont. We can expect close to around 100 to a tenth of an inch of rain. A little bit more impressive numbers the more south we go down into Ben Lomond, but we're monitoring those rainfall totals closely. It will start to dry up, though, as we head into this weekend's forecast with sunnier skies right around the corner. So let's actually take a look at that. From the bay off into our inland spots. We'll get a baby warm up as we head into the bay forecast this weekend, meaning mid-70s by Friday, heading into Saturday. Sunnier conditions too. And then as we make our way over into our inland spots, places like the East Bay and the North Bay that have been dealing with below average temperatures this afternoon and the past couple days, we're actually going to see a nice warm up into the 80s as we dive into this weekend. Back to you.
Well, the 49ers facing off against the Rams in Los Angeles tomorrow night, but they still don't know who their starting quarterback is going to be. Matt Lively heard from the team in Santa Clara yesterday, where all eyes were on Brock Purdy.
This is the Audi Red and Gold Report.
The 49ers usually have Tuesdays off, but this is no normal week as they head to Los Angeles to take on the Rams on Thursday Night Football. And the biggest question, will they have QB Brock Purdy? Purdy returned to the field Sunday after missing 2 games with a toe injury, but after re-aggravating the injury in the loss to Jacksonville, the Bronx star did not practice Tuesday due to toe soreness. The good news is that backup Mac Jones was a full participant and should be ready to go, but the Niners aren't ruling out Purdy quite yet.
Yeah, 100%. If I can play this game, I'm going to play. And obviously, I want to get right and get healthy and everything. But we need to win this game against the Rams, so that's how I'm looking at it.
Will the decision to play Brock come down to pain tolerance?
No, it'll come down to, do we feel he could play and to 100% of his ability, and do we feel that he can protect himself with it?
If the game were tonight, you wouldn't feel ready to go?
Tonight, no, but I have 2 days.
For the Red and Gold Report, I'm Matt Lively.
And you can tune in tonight for our weekly 49ers Experience show with Vern and Matt Lively. It starts at 7:30 on KPIX and streaming on the free CBS News app. Well, now to basketball, where a summer-long stalemate has apparently come to an end. Restricted free agent Jonathan Kuminga has reportedly re-signed with the Warriors on a 2-year, $48.5 million contract. That is according to ESPN. It reportedly includes a team option on the second year. Kuminga is expected to come off the bench to start the season. His signing also allowed the Warriors to move forward with several other free agents and fill out their 15-man roster. Coming up in our next half hour here on CBS News Bay Area, we are going to meet a Bay Area woman hoping to shine a spotlight on a common but underdiagnosed cause of infertility. She's hoping her story will help others avoid the same frustrations.
Ultimately, it was pregnancy test fail after fail after fail.
You're streaming CBS News Bay Area.
Thanks for being with us this Wednesday. I'm Ann Makovic, and here's a look at our news headlines. It is day 1 of the government shutdown. Both Republican and Democratic leaders remain at a stalemate over how to move forward. This means as many as 750,000 government workers could be furloughed each day. Essential employees, including federal law enforcement, military service members, and TSA agents, are required to continue working without pay for now. President Trump has said the shutdown could result in mass layoffs and cuts to programs. The body of a missing 28-year-old woman has been found in Vallejo, and a man has been arrested accused of murder. Investigators found the body of Renea Lewis through a hidden entrance to the attic of a home yesterday. Investigators previously checked that house on 14th Street on Sunday, the day that Lewis was reported missing, but they didn't find her. Police have now arrested 41-year-old Douglas Shaw. They claim that he confessed to the crime. He's being held at the Solano County Jail. And red light cameras coming to San Jose, being installed at 4 high-traffic intersections across the city: Lee Avenue and Parkmore Avenue, Monterey Road and Branham Lane, Keys Street and South 3rd Street, and South Bascom Avenue and Camden. The city says drivers will get a citation for failing to stop or rolling through a red light. The pilot program was approved back in 2022. All right, let's get another check on our first alert forecast, because it sounds like more rain is on the way. Here's meteorologist Jessica Birch.
Rainy weather for another day here in the Bay Area. We're going to continue to see on and off showers in the forecast. At the same time, daytime highs are staying nice and cool as we head into this afternoon. Let's head all the way up to the North Bay real fast as this cold front sweeps from the north to the south. We're gearing up for 60s in places like Vallejo and Napa, even cooler than our microclimates over into San Francisco for that matter. So all of our inland spots, let's take Concord for example, are sitting below average by about 10 degrees in Concord, putting us at 73 degrees there, 6 degrees below average, putting us at 73 degrees all the way over into San Jose. Now, as you take a look at the radar, it's been pretty active on and off throughout this morning, but you take a look at Futurecast, we'll continue to watch the rest of that moisture wring itself out over the Bay Area into the evening hours tonight. On and off showers expected for us all the way into the overnight hours tonight. We could even see some lingering showers the more south we go as we head into our Thursday forecast, with cloudy conditions lingering all the way into our Friday setup. So we're monitoring this closely, but watch what happens as we head into our Friday and Saturday forecast. We're actually going to see some sunnier skies around the corner as we dive into this weekend, and some warmer weather too. Once this cold front pushes through, high pressure rolls in, and that jumps us from the low 70s that we're gearing up for today all the way into the low 80s that we're tapping into as we head into our Saturday forecast. And that's the case as we head into next week too, with just some cloudier conditions on the back end. Now, as we head all the way over into the Bay, places like San Francisco and Oakland, this is what we're in store for. We're talking about low 70s as we wrap up this week, despite the fact that we're seeing sunnier skies. Low 70s lingering into next week too, but at least it's going to be drier. So now that it's the first day of October, we're officially in fall. It definitely feels like it, but we'll start to see a little bit warmer conditions with sunnier skies by next week. Back to you.
Well, President Trump threatening to send more troops to Democratic-run cities, including San Francisco.
San Francisco, Chicago, New York, Los Angeles, they're very unsafe places, and we're going to straighten them out one by one. And this is going to be a major part for some of the people in this room. That's a war, too. It's a war from within. I told Pete we should use some of these dangerous cities as training grounds for our military.
He made those remarks while addressing a rare gathering of top military leaders in Virginia yesterday. When San Francisco Mayor Daniel Lurie was asked about the comments, he said he can't control what's coming out of Washington, that he can only focus on his city and the work he's been doing to keep San Franciscans safe. He also added that overall crime is down 30% in the city. And Governor Newsom responding on X saying, quote, "This speech should terrify anyone who cares about our country. Declaring war on our nation's cities and using our troops as political pawns is what dictators do. This man cares about nothing but his own ego and power." Well, during yesterday's speech, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth told troops to get in line with President Trump's agenda or resign. He promoted what he calls a warrior ethos and rallied against past initiatives focused on diversity, equity, and inclusion. Our John Ramos watched the speech with a veteran from the East Bay and has his reaction to these proposed changes to the military.
Here in San Francisco, people may have a different view of the role of the military than, say, Middle America. But the military draws from all over the country, and Secretary Hegseth made it clear that things are about to change.
Ever since, including by our first commander-in-chief.
Pete Hegseth began his speech to the assembled heads of the military by welcoming them to the Department of War, and he made it clear what their new mission was.
To ensure peace, we must prepare for war. From this moment forward, the only mission of the newly restored Department of War is this: warfighting, preparing for war and preparing to win.
From his apartment in San Francisco, Mike Higgins watched the address. He was stationed in Berlin before the wall fell, and he said it was chillingly familiar to his surroundings.
Wow, that's all I said. I was like, wow. And I thought of Hitler. That's what I thought.
Hegseth called out the armed forces for lowering their standards for what he said were political and inclusionary reasons.
This administration has done a great deal from day one to remove the social justice, politically correct, and toxic ideological garbage that had infected our department, to rip out the politics. No more identity months, DEI offices, dudes in dresses.
And he ordered training to increase the physical fitness of service members.
It's tiring to look out at combat formations, or really any formation, and see fat troops. Likewise, it's completely unacceptable to see fat generals and admirals in the halls of the Pentagon and leading commands around the country and the world. It's a bad look.
Retired Army Major Mike Lyons supported that message.
I think this shift is long overdue, frankly, and normally it comes from the different services themselves. And it's the first time I've seen a Secretary of War make this kind of buck up, let's say. That's what we would call something like this. The bottom line is he's all about standards, reinforcing how you look. You've got to look like you're a soldier, no more beards. So I think overall that's a good thing. It's a net positive, because I do believe the military did slip away from that for the past, let's say, generation.
The new directives would require women to meet the same standards as men. Higgins doesn't object to higher physical standards, but he wonders if it will eliminate women and tech-gifted men at a time when warfare is becoming more technology-based. But more than anything, he says he's scared that the intention seems to be aimed at preparing the country for a war.
You know, he wants somebody to throw the first punch so that we can go to war, because he's eager for it. That's just all I saw. Are we getting ready for World War III? Because there's not going to be a winner. The world's not going to survive a World War III. I mean, everybody knows that. They know that. So I don't know what the hell they're thinking.
Every day we have to be prepared for war, not for defense. We're training warriors, not defenders. We fight wars to win, not to defend. We fight to win. We unleash overwhelming and punishing violence on the enemy. Lethality is our calling card, and victory our only acceptable end state.
We have a War Department now, a War Department, because that's what we're going to do. Secretary of Defense opens his speech up with talking about Rome. Rome fell, you know? Hey, that's not something that I want to do. I don't want America to fall.
Most U.S. military branches met or exceeded their recruitment goals for the current fiscal year. That is a turnaround from previous shortfalls in the previous 2 years. New York City, a high-rise in the Bronx partially collapsed today. From the air, you can see that gaping hole in the side of that 20-story building. It was apparently caused by some sort of explosion in the boiler room. That blast sending bricks, air conditioning units, and other debris raining onto nearby buildings and to the sidewalk below.
Yeah, we was walking, we was gonna go, because, we was going to her friend's house. So as we was going up the stairs, we just heard a boom. It sounded like a bomb. So then after that, once it happened, I kind of tripped. She tripped too. And then we just ran out the building. I'm like, I can't believe this.
Firefighters dug through the rubble and used drones and dogs to make sure nobody was trapped underneath. Luckily, no injuries have been reported. In San Francisco, starting today, homeless families can stay in shelters longer. The city decided to end a pandemic-era shelter policy that limited shelter stays to 90 days. Now, more requests are available to families that meet eligibility requirements. It is likely to increase wait times for new families, but homeless advocates say it's better than people being kicked out onto the streets. We are hearing from a Bay Area woman hoping to get the message out about a common but sometimes overlooked cause of infertility. It is called PCOS. Laureen Ayub spoke with a patient and her doctor about the life-changing diagnosis.
Marissa Chase never imagined she would need to walk into a fertility clinic to start a family. But after continuously trying to conceive with her husband, hope began to fade.
It was finally the time. It was the time, the month that we were going to start trying. And ultimately, it was pregnancy test fail after fail after fail.
For Marissa, each failed test brought new questions. And with no clear diagnosis, fear took hold.
It was honestly terrifying, right? Because you didn't know. Everything runs through your head never going to be able to have a family, among other things, right? So it was very scary.
Marissa turned to RMA of Northern California, a fertility clinic specializing in advanced reproductive care. There, Dr. Jonathan Court uncovered what she had not known all along. She had PCOS. Polycystic ovary syndrome affects about 1 in 10 women of reproductive age. According to the U.S. Office on Women's Health, it's a leading but often underdiagnosed cause of infertility.
So a lot of times our patients with infertility have been trying for months and even years at home, and often they're told to just keep trying. But in the majority of patients with PCOS, they're not ovulating regularly, and sometimes they're not ovulating at all. So there's no, them trying at home without any treatment is not really effective. And that's why if patients aren't getting a clear sign that they're ovulating, it's worth getting treatment sooner to give yourselves the best chance.
For Marissa, that treatment led to the moment she thought might never come. Pregnancy. Not once, but twice.
I will never forget it. Literally never forget it. It is the best feeling in the entire world.
Now she shares her story with hope that others might find answers, and love as powerful as the one she now knows.
Nothing about birth and what they say is underrated. From just like the emotions, being scared, being excited, to actually experiencing that type of love for the first time. I think that every person on this planet should be able to experience that type of love because it's completely unique.
Though the path to motherhood was not easy, Marissa says every step was well worth it.
According to the CDC, PCOS affects as many as 5 million women. Coming up next here on CBS News Bay Area, as we get deeper into football season, some parents of student athletes are holding their breath on the sidelines.
I'm concerned every time he takes a snap, every play he plays, I'm concerned something might happen.
The answers some local scientists are hoping to get about head injuries and CTE.
It's another rainy day for us here in the Bay Area with on and off showers and another cold front sweeping from the north to the south. Now this is going to increase relative humidity, of course, bring us some showers throughout the bay and also drop our temperatures for another day too. We're talking about low 70s in our inland spots this afternoon, putting us well below average. I mean, Concord by about 10 degrees. We'll start to warm up as we head into this weekend, back into the 80s with sunnier skies, but we make our way over into the bay. We're also noticing those sunny conditions widespread from San Francisco over into Oakland by Friday.
A new study is underway that could help football players and other athletes who might be at risk for concussions. UCSF researchers are studying the brains of more than 200 living former players for signs of CTE. Right now, a diagnosis can only be made after somebody's died. Kenny Choi talked to a lead researcher and the parent of a student athlete about the research.
Concussions and repetitive hard hits to the head are often on the minds of football parents watching from the sidelines.
I'm concerned every time he takes a snap, every play he plays, I'm concerned something might happen.
Stephen Perini's son plays for Alhambra High School in Martinez, where 2 players recently suffered head injuries during a game.
Seeing that and just the air leave the stadium impacted me. So I decided that it was time to take some action to better protect the kids out on the field.
Perini launched a GoFundMe effort to purchase Guardian caps to help minimize injuries for the entire team. With the football season underway, a groundbreaking study is taking place at UCSF. 225 former professional and college football players are taking part as researchers hope to one day be able to diagnose CTE in living people.
All these white spots here represent areas of scarring or damage to the brain.
Dr. Gil Rabinovich is a neurologist specializing in memory, aging, and neurodegenerative diseases.
One of the conditions that can cause these scars is repeated head trauma, repeated head impacts.
Rabinovich and researchers are aiming to develop reliable diagnostic tests while exploring factors that influence who develops CTE and why.
We've gotten there with Alzheimer's disease, so we know it's possible. In Alzheimer's disease in the last 20 years, we've developed brain scans and blood tests that can actually detect the brain changes years and years before people have the earliest signs of memory loss.
The new 5-year study is a continuation of a previous CTE trial. Researchers concluded it's the number of years played that's a better predictor of CTE than the number of concussions suffered.
There's all these other blows that don't cause concussions that are maybe contributing as much to the risk of developing CTE and later life neurological and psychiatric decline.
As leading researchers hope to one day detect and treat CTE in living people, football parents like Perini believe changes to the game have made it safer for his son to play.
I'm definitely not trying to stand in the way of him chasing his dreams, but I do want to make sure that he has the most protection possible.
He understands there's a certain amount of risk in any sport that's played.
According to UCSF, CTE can manifest in different ways in different people. It might lead to memory loss, trouble concentrating, or slurred speech. Other symptoms could include personality changes, including mood swings and violent outbursts. Researchers are hoping to have a CTE diagnosis in living people by the time the study wraps up. Coming up here on CBS News Bay Area, it is the ride of a lifetime. We're going to take a look at the latest water sport in the Bay Area that's guaranteed to make some waves.
I want to show you those rainfall totals real quick, how much we're expecting widespread throughout the bay, because as we wake up and head out the door right now at 7:50, this is what we're dealing with. Dry skies right now throughout most of the North Bay. It's still cloudy, though. And then as we head a little bit more south, those showers are continuing to push in from offshore, breaking apart a little bit more as they make their way over the bay, all the way over into places like Hayward. So let's head over into places like Hayward, all the way down into Fremont. We can expect close to around 100 to a tenth of an inch of rain. A little bit more impressive numbers the more south we go down into Ben Lomond, but we're monitoring those rainfall totals closely. It will start to dry up, though, as we head into this weekend's forecast with sunnier skies right around the corner. So let's actually take a look at that. From the bay off into our inland spots. We'll get a baby warm up as we head into the bay forecast this weekend, meaning mid-70s by Friday heading into Saturday. Sunnier conditions too. And then as we make our way over into our inland spots, places like the East Bay and the North Bay that have been dealing with below average temperatures this afternoon and the past couple days, we're actually going to see a nice warm up into the 80s as we dive into this weekend. Back to you.
Well, this is not your average day on the water. These kite surfers are riding the wind on the San Francisco Bay. Our Itai Hod spent a day with this man, sharing his passion with others and teaching them too.
Kite in one spot. Yeah, there you go. Got some good speed going.
No matter what kind of day you're having, out here in the San Francisco Bay, just off Treasure Island, Captain John Van Tesmar has a guaranteed way
that's good.
To lift you up.
Get up and start riding.
For nearly 2 decades, Captain John has been teaching people how to harness the wind.
There's no rules, there's no road signs, there's no traffic laws.
Picture a snowboard only on water. Now add a kite the size of a small car, and you've got yourself kiteboarding, a sport catching wind all over the world.
And so you can keep your kite in one spot.
But don't let the casual sounding name fool you. This sport blows people away.
We should go up and just ride around the Golden Gate Bridge.
Jose Urrea is a Colombian tech salesman who between meetings trades his business suit for a wetsuit.
Do your friends think you're a little nutty for doing this?
I think so, yeah.
Kiteboarding has been riding a wave of popularity in the Bay Area thanks to year-round wind and near-perfect conditions. The biggest boost came in 2024 when kiteboarding made its Olympic debut in Paris. The first American to qualify, Daniela Moroz, a 6-time world champion and Berkeley native. For those willing to go the extra nautical mile, there's foiling, a hydrofoil that makes the board rise and the rider fly.
Right, go upwind a little bit more.
All that momentum means business is booming for Captain John. To get a sense of how hard it really is, John offered me a crash course.
Let go, let go, let go.
I took that literally.
Yeah, looking good.
As for Jose, kiteboarding is more than just a ride.
This is a nice opportunity to be present and anchor in this moment.
I got the board.
Because out here in the San Francisco Bay,
good, yeah, man.
The surest way to feel anchored is to get on board.
Woo! Yeah, there you go.
Well, if you're wondering, a 3-hour lesson, a little pricey, cost you about $500. We are continuing to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month, and for almost 60 years, Los Lupeños has been a cultural staple in San Jose. Based at the Mexican Heritage Plaza on the east side, the nonprofit Dance Academy has brought generations together through Mexican folk dancing or folklorico. But as deportation efforts continue and with the future of migrant rights in question, what typically sparks joy now comes with a bit of a heavier tone with a revitalized effort to preserve Hispanic heritage. Samuel Cortez is a Mexican immigrant. He's been the Los Lupeños art director for more than 10 years.
This year, the Hispanic Heritage Month is particularly special because I feel more than ever that it's necessary to get close to the ones that are here, that are looking for space, that are looking to feel safe, that are looking to feel part of something. We are here standing, we're still fighting, we're still trying to support each other and making sure that our community feels safe, empowered, and proud of who they are.
Our Kevin Coe explores this traditional dance form that has discovered a new purpose. You can see the full story here at 5 o'clock tonight on our evening edition. And check out our 30-minute special, Una Familia, airing on October 16th, 7:30 p.m., hosted by Gianna Franco and Len Ramirez. Thanks for streaming CBS News Bay Area. I'm Ann Makovic. We're going to be right back with your first alert forecast and another look at your top stories.